This is the first video in the series for PowerPoint 2013, and in this video I will try to talk about how to create your own PowerPoint to add slides, images, pictures, and also to work with how to work with your slides and deleting slides. Now when you start PowerPoint, this is the way it starts off, and we all know that PowerPoint is used to make presentation. And the one thing to remember when you're creating a PowerPoint is to keep in mind that you are only trying to put your outline on the PowerPoint and maybe important quotations. You don't want to put all your presentation on the PowerPoint because people will start to read it. Now when I started PowerPoint, so I have my old files listed here. And I can also open, if it's not listed here, I can open it from here. And they have some interesting templates which are available here that if you liked, you can just double click on it. And you'll find that you see they have some business templates. So these are templates which are already prepared with different ideas, and you can just double click on it and download it and just fill in the information. I'm just going to go back and say if I go to nature. So all of these are templates which are already created with some color schemes and some slides already set up. I'm just going to go back, go to the business again so I can download some interesting ones. So let's see if I see something. So business strategy presentation. So I'll just double click on it. And you see now here there are all these different slides which I'll explain to you. And now all I have to do is go to the slide and then start filling in the information where I want it. Okay. So this is good because everything is already set up for you. However, this is not the best way to learn. The best way to learn is by doing it from blank. So I'll just close this and I'll go to File and New, Blank Presentation. Double click on it. So here I am. Now it's always a good habit to start saving your work as soon as you type something. So just for practice, I'll just try to create my own portfolio. So this will be Amir's portfolio or maybe Amir's resume. And then up here I'll add a title, my full name. I can put some of my designation and anything else I wanted to type. Now right away I'll try to hit the save button so that I can save it, and it's always a good habit to save it in a folder. So I can now, instead of saving it in SkyDrive, which is Microsoft's cloud services, so that anything I save in my computer on the SkyDrive will be synced to my Hotmail SkyDrive account, so I can have access to it from anywhere in the world. So that's a really good thing if you wanted to do that. But if I want to save it to the computer, I'll just click Computer, Browse, and then I'll save it in my documents. Now if I don't have a PowerPoint folder, I can create a new folder. I'll give it the name PowerPoint. It's always a good thing to give it a meaningful name. Double click on it, PowerPoint, and then there's the name of the file. Now if you were trying to share this with people who did not have Office 2013 or 2010 PowerPoint, then you click here on the bottom and then you save it as 97 2003 so everybody can open it. But now you won't be able to use some of the new features which are part of the new program. But even if you save it as the default, which is the 2013 series, you will be able to resave it as a different name. And under tools here, if you want it, you can go to general options, and now you can put a password to open, so that even before anybody can look at it, they will be needing to type a password. Or you can have a password to modify. That means people can look at it, but they cannot make changes to it. So now I can hit save. So there it is, and now I'm in my PowerPoint saved. It should say on the top. Now the first thing you need to understand is how do you add slides. So you see there's the new slide button. Now it's better to click on the drop down button because they will show you some different layouts. So here you have some options for a single column layout or a double column layout. So you'll find that these are the most common ones that you use. And there is another reason why you want to do this is because we're going to talk about something called master slides later on, which helps you to make changes to one slide, and all of these slides will start to change automatically. So that will be coming up in the second video. So I'll just choose this single content, and then now I can type a summary. And then I'll click here and I can now start typing whatever I want. So line 1, I'm just making things up. Now if I wanted to make this line 3.1 indented, which is underneath the line 3, then I click in front of it and I hit the tab key on the keyboard. I'll click in front of here and I'll hit tab also. And if I click on line 4 and I hit tab, it will do that too. Now I realized, hey, I made a mistake. So I can press the shift key on the keyboard and hit the tab button. So while holding the shift, you hit the tab, so it will reverse it. Or you can use these buttons here, increase or decrease. And if you found that if you hit backspace here, you will lose your bullets. So you can hit the bullets button on the top again to add it back. So there's not a problem. And you can always highlight the bullets and then you can change it to some other styles of bullets as you needed it, or the numbering. So a lot of these things that you've learned in Microsoft Word, they apply to these things. And there are lots of other options like making it bold or italic, so those things can be done. I do want to talk about a few things here where I'm going to highlight the word summary, and I can use this button which stands for character spacing. Click in the drop down button and I can make it very loose. So you see, when I say very loose, it goes far away from each other. If I'll make it very tight, you see it will come close. Or I can go back to it and make it normal. And this is an exam question that you'll come across, and it's called character spacing. And it's very important that you get into the habit of pointing to the buttons and understand what the button stands for, so that in the exam, even if you don't get an explanation, you'll be able to understand what that button is. I can also add like a shade to it, a text shadow. So you see now it's kind of got a shaded thing to it, and I can remove it. And the other options are always there with font styles and the sizes. And you can always click in the boxes and start making changes. And now if you look on the left hand side, you have the slide 1, and I can go there and click in the boxes to make changes. Or I can go to slide 2. Now to make changes, you have to click in the box and you can start removing it, editing it, whatever you want to do with it. Now we'll continue on, add another slide. So I'll go to new slide, but this time I'll choose to content. And up here I'll just put a title and say I want to add a picture. So a picture is pictures that I have in my computer. And if you look in the bottom, in one of these boxes, I can either use this button here or I can use this one. So either or. So I'll click on this one. And now it will ask me where are your pictures. I'll go to sample pictures and then I'll double click on any one of these. Whichever one I want, I can double click on it. And the picture is added. I can go to the corners and I can resize them. Always remember to go to the corners because it maintains the proportion. And whenever you have a picture, you get picture tools where you can start to make it look different. So there are lots of different ways. So you see I just added like a shade on the bottom, reflection, and you can always make other artistic changes. So they've got lots of different ways of making your pictures look interesting. Color. So these are things you can just start playing around and you'll find that it adds value to your pictures. Now up here I can click here and I can add another picture or anything else, or I can just type a word. And that's it, it's done. We'll practice adding some more slides. So I'll go back to the drop down button for new slide and I'll choose table and content. And in this one, say I want to add a table. So I'll type the word table, and in the bottom here there is the option to insert a table. I'll click it and I can choose how many rows and column I want. So I can say give me 2 columns and 2 rows, and I'll click OK. And I get that, but I want to extend it, so I'll point my mouse here, left click and hold it when I see the arrow, and I'll drag it, leaving a little space on the bottom. Now I have 4 boxes in which I can type whatever I want, and I can use the tab key to navigate between one to the other. Now if you look on the top, you've got table tools, and you can start making changes to it. And there are lots of different effects which are available to make changes to this. In the table tools, you can go to layout, and in the layout you can choose to insert columns to the left. So you see now I've added a column, and if I wanted to delete something, I can click in the drop down button and choose to delete that particular column. And anytime you make mistakes, always remember the undo button, so you can go back. And if you don't remember these buttons here on the top, always stick off right click. In the right click you should see some options to add things. So there is the insert option, and then there's the delete option, and you can even choose to delete the whole table. I can highlight the whole box, and I can choose in the table tools layout to put them in the middle, and I can even affect certain cells directions if I want it to be like this. So that's how to add tables. Now if you click outside, you'll find that there is no table tools because you need to click on it so that it gets highlighted, so you get the table tools. Okay. So now let's just look at some basic interface options that we have. So at first we have the file button here, from where you can open files, start new files, save this existing file. You can print from here. You can also share. So this is if you wanted to share it via email, and later on I'll also talk about this present online. So you can actually send a link to people, and people can watch the presentation online for free. You can even export it, close it, or you can go to the options, which is also called like backstage. And in options, that's where you make major changes to your PowerPoint. The next to file, we have the home button. These are known as tabs and also ribbons, like these guys also known as ribbons. There is the insert, design. So these I'll be telling you, like click on the design tab, and then transitions and things. I can come back to home. Now if by mistake you double click on any one of these, you'll find that the ribbons go into hiding. So if I want to bring it back, I double click on it again and they will come back. This up here on the top, they are known as the shortcut toolbars, and I can click here to customize the quick access toolbar, and I can add whatever buttons I want. I want a print button, I can add it. I want a open button, I can add it. I can add a spelling and grammar button, I can add it. The touch mouse mode is for people if you've got a touch computer, you can actually activate those buttons. And if you found a button that is not listed here, you can go to more commands, and then in this they got some more buttons that I can choose to add it to my shortcut list. But right now it's only showing you the popular commands. So if you change this to all commands, now you have access to all the buttons, all the commands which are available in PowerPoint, and you can add it to your shortcut list. Besides managing your list here, your quick access toolbar, you can actually create your own tab. So I'll just briefly talk about it. I talked about this in my Microsoft Word class, but it's a very good feature because I can create a new tab and put all the important buttons that I want in it. So to customize that ribbons or the tabs, I can click here and go to Options, and I'll come back to this screen and I can go to Customize Ribbon. And from here, if I want, I can create a new tab, and there's a new tab created. I can click on it and I can rename it, and I can give it my name. And then there is a new group, so I can call it, say, Group A, and I can give it a picture. Now in this Group A, I can start adding some options. So whatever I wanted, I can start adding it to this Group A, and I can add more groups. I can add another group and I can rename it, and I can call it Group B. Now I can add some options to this, and I'll click OK, and now there is the Amir tab, Group A, Group B. So it's a very nice way to organize your commands that you use a lot, so you don't have to go around looking for things. I can even go to it from here, More Commands, Customize Ribbon, and now if I want, I can just remove the check mark from it. And you also have the option, if you wanted, you can actually export your ribbons. So you can export it and take it to a different computer if you've customized your ribbon, so you don't have to recreate it. And you can always reset your default settings. I'll click OK. So that tab has been removed. Now if you look here on the bottom, you'll see the options where it tells you the left hand side bottom, slide 4 of 4. It tells you the language that is being used as a dictionary. I think I need to change that as I'm in Canada. There is an option here called Notes. So when I click it, a note box comes up. So up here, I can leave some notes. So I can at the end print it and give it to the participants, or I can even use it as a way to do collaboration where people can leave notes for each other. And they've also added a new feature where people can leave comments. So there's on the bottom. Next to the comments, there is an option, there is this button here which says Normal. So right now I'm in the normal mode because I can see my slides and I can also see the slide itself. So all my slides are here. Next to normal is the slide sorter. So you see the slide sorter, I can see all the slides together. And slide sorter is also very good because I can left click and hold a slide and I can drag it and drop it to wherever I want it to be. I can even right click on it and I can delete a slide. I can even create a duplicate slide if I wanted. And I can come back to normal view. And next to the views, one of the button called reading view. For some reason the explanation is coming on the bottom, so it's getting cut off, but that one's called reading view. It just shows me a big sign. And then this button is for slideshow, which when I click it, it will just start the whole PowerPoint slideshow. Now you can get to a lot of these buttons from the view tab. And in the view, you see there is the normal view, there is the reading view, there is the slide sorter view, and under view there is also the option called notes page. So if you click it, this is the way your notes will be printed, the slide on the top and the notes on the bottom. So you can even type your notes here, and you can increase the zoom if you wanted to. So on the right hand corner there's a plus and the minus sign, so you can increase or reduce the zoom so that you can see it easily. Under view there is also an option called outline view, and it just shows me the whole outline. So then I can just click on it and I can even start making changes here. And I can even right click on it and I'll see options like moving up or down. So if I wanted to move line 2 above line 1, I right click on it and I can move it up. So now you see line 2 is above, it also changes here. If I right click on line 4 and I can use the option promote. Promote means take the line 4 as a bullet and make a new slide with the same as a heading title. So if I use promote, now you see line 4 has become its own slide. Now if I right click on it, and I can use demote, so it goes back to the previous slide as part of it. So I can use promote and demote and moving up and down. So rather than doing cutting, pasting, I can do it this way. And I can come back to view in the normal view, because this is where you'll find all your important things are. And I can just drag it from here too. And I can even right click and I can delete a slide even from here. I'll come back to home and I'll click on the 4th slide because I'm going to add some more slides so that it will continue at the 5th one. So I can go to new slide, I'll add another single content, and this time I'll try to put a chart here. And in here there is a button here called insert chart, and I can choose many different styles of charts. I'll just stick with this one for now and I'll click OK. And it will open an Excel type function and I can change the wordings here. So I can type whatever I want in the information, and whatever I type here will show up on my screen, and I can close this, and there it is. Now depending on the style of a chart I've used, it will show up in that way. And there are a lot of things you can do. So if you know Excel, which I talk about some of these things in my Excel video, you can start making changes to them as you like it through the chart tools. I'll go back to new slide, to contents, and say I wanted to add those clip arts or a picture that I have online in my cloud service or Facebook or something like that. So in here there is this button here for online picture, and also here. So I'll click on it. Now I can do a search here on the top, or I can do a search on Bing, the search engine, to look for it, or I can browse to my SkyDrive, which is the cloud service of Microsoft if I had pictures there. So I'll look for some clip arts, which are those cartoon type characters. So I can say, let's look for a building. And here are these cartoon type characters, the clip arts of a building. Anyone I liked, I just click on it. And then it will be added by inserting it. Or I can just double click on it and I think it's downloaded, and there's the image added, and now I've got the picture tools, which is the same as the other picture tools. Corrections, colors, artistic effects, picture effects, layouts, and any of the changes I wanted to make to it. Borders. So lots of options, and you can always resize it, you can drag it around if you want it. And then up here I can add my text. The bullets come up, so those options are there. And I can just add a title here. We'll add one more slide, and this time I'll use title and content. And I will try to add what's called a smart art. So I'll just put a title here. And I'll use this button. Smart art are like, if you've seen those lists, or you want to create a process or a cycle, you want to show how people can follow certain cycles, or hierarchy, when you want to create the CEO, president's kind of a map. So I can click it and I'll click OK. Now I can start typing here. Whatever I want, I can start. And again, I've got tools for it, so I can start making changes to the coloring as I like it. And there are different styles associated with it. Many different styles available. Take your pick. And the exams, you'll find these questions where they'll tell you to change the style to powder. So you see when you point to it, you'll come to know in the exam you will get these options. And I can change it to any layouts I like. As I point to it, they start changing, so I don't even have to do anything. Now if you wanted to add shapes, say I wanted to add an assistant to the senior VP sales, then I can add a shape by using the tools on the top. On the left hand side it says add shape, and I can add an assistant. So you see it adds an assistant. I can double click on it, or I can just click on it one time and I can then type something. So if you don't remember these buttons, always remember right click and you should see an option to add shape, add assistant, and you can type something there. If you wanted, you can also open up this text pane so that you can now start typing it in the text pane rather than typing it in here. So you can type there or here, it's up to you. I can even close it. And if you look in the Smart Tools design, there is an option called Convert that if I wanted, I could convert this smart art to text. And you see it shows like that. And I can hit undo. And the same way, if I go to my summary slide, I click on it. I believe there is an option here where it says Convert to Smart Art. And I can convert to one of these styles of smart art. You see, as I point to it, it started to change in the background. And I can go to more, and then I can choose maybe the hierarchy, and it shows up like that. And I can hit undo. So it's a nice little feature to switch between one to the other if you wanted it. I'll do one last slide, so I'm going to go to new slide and add a title and content, and in this one I'll show you how to add a movie. And there is a button here called insert video. I'll click it, and now I can insert it from my computer. So I'll browse from it, and you see there's a button to insert from Facebook, so you can do that. They also have the option for pictures. So I'll click browse. I'll go to where my sample video is. I'll double click on it, and then the movie is added, and they have video tools for it. And in the playback you can choose to either start it automatically, you can make it play full screen, you can affect the volume. So there are lots of different options you can affect here, and this video will play when we start watching our slideshow. So just to show you, I'll go to the slideshow option. On the top there's a ribbon, the tab called slideshow, and I'll say slideshow from current slide. I'll click it, and now you see the PowerPoint has started playing the video automatically in full screen. I'll hit escape to stop. So from slideshow tab you can start a slideshow from beginning. So if I do that, now it's showing my slideshow. If I want to change the slide, I either have to click with my mouse, or I have to use the enter key on the keyboard, or use the down arrow, and it will start to change. At any time you want to stop your PowerPoint, you hit the escape key on the keyboard. One last thing for this video, and I'll end this one, is how do you add some more elements? So say I've got this picture, but I want to add some more picture, because if I click on it, I hit delete, this picture will be deleted and I get my box back and I can add another one. I'll just hit undo, but I want to add some more things, some other things. So I'll go to insert, and now from here I can choose to insert a table, pictures, screenshots of whatever is on my computer or from the internet. I can also insert shapes. So if I want, I can take any of these shapes and then I can drag it and draw it. I can right click on it and I can edit text, and then I can type whatever I want. And I've got tools on the top where I can change things as I want it, and I can drag it to wherever I want. And there are some more things under insert. You can insert smart arts or charts. You can also make something a hyperlink. So say if I highlight this, I can add a hyperlink on it, and I can say, go to some other file in my computer, so I can browse to where my file is. Or I can just say go to a Google or whatever website. So now that is actually clickable. That will take me to that website. I can also say this, I click on it and I can add an action to it. So I can insert a action and I can say that when I click on it, you link it to a slide on this or a URL or any other file. There's also an option for mouse over, so when somebody just points the mouse to it, it will do something. Or you can run a program, a special type. You can make it play a sound of something. So that's also available under insert. You can add text boxes anywhere you want. So I can click it and I can add a box, and then I can start typing in this box. And then I've got the tools for it to make any kind of changes to the box. So remember that anything you do, you're going to get tools for it. So keep in mind, and that will have an impact of whatever you are doing. And then you can drag it around to wherever you want it. You can even twist it as you like it. And then you can go to home and you can affect some other things in there, maybe the text direction right there. I can hit delete to delete any elements. It could be anything. You can delete it by hitting the delete button on the keyboard. Make sure you click on it. And also under insert, you have options to add header and footer. So I can click it. And then I can say on my slide, put the date and time. So it will be showing up on the bottom. And if I want it in the footer, I can add my own custom footer. And I can even say don't put it on the title slide, and I'll click apply. Or apply means only apply to this slide, apply to all means apply to all. And if you look on the bottom, there is the date and there is my custom footer that I just added. You can also add word arts. You can then type whatever you want in there. With word art too, you got the tools so you can affect the shape effects. You can make it 3D rotations. See, now it's changed. Or text effects of different types. So you can start playing around with this and you'll get a hang of it as to how this whole thing works. Don't want it? Click on the edges and hit the delete button on keyboard. You can also take any object. So I say if I take this object, drop it on top of my text. Now if I want, while it is selected, I can go to this button send backwards and I can send to back. So now the image is in the background and I can make the image lighter so that the text is much more visible. So I can choose a lighter shade so the text becomes visible. So that's the neat feature and you can do it with any elements. I can click on this picture. I can go to format. I'll make the color lighter. And then I can drop it on top of it. And then I can send to back. So now you see the arrow and everything's on the top. I can hit undo a few times to let it go back to the way it was. You can also go to insert and you can add slide numbers to the bottom. So if you want it, I can add a slide number and it will show up on the right hand side. I can hit apply to all and there is the slide number on the bottom. You can also insert equations. You can add special symbols if you need it. Copyright. Add it. And later on, I'll talk about in the second or third video about how to add an audio either on this slide or as a background music, which I'll talk about, but you can always add even any video. So just move to a different slide. I can add any video anywhere I want, either an online video or I can add it from my PC. And when you have a slide, so in this case I have a slide which is a single content. I want to change it to a double content. I'll go to Home, I'll click on the button Layout, and I'll change it to two contents. So now I can have two different boxes. I can change my mind, go back to single. And you can do it whenever you want. You can make changes to it as you like it. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll try to talk about how to add colors to your slides, transitions, animations, and even master slides. Thanks for watching.